Hey there, my name is Cole Adams, and you are watching the best college basketball podcast out there that covers the entire sport of college basketball, brackets, bubbles, and bid stealers. Now, here are your hosts, Sam Fetterman and Jonathan Lidskin.
Season 6, episode 63 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers. I am Sam Fetterman. That is Jonathan Lidskin. Jonathan, it's been, I believe, 20 days. No, 26 days since the last episode of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Stealers that featured both of us. That's a long gap during the season.
Since we went like full time, not full time, but like full on with like this pod a couple years ago, it's definitely the longest gap in season without a show.
Yeah. So I am coming to you live, Jonathan, from the Sleep In room 322 in Frederick, Maryland, which is across the street from like a mall and a Wawa, and the Sheetz is up the road, and there's a Waffle House not too far from here, a Costco.
Sounds like you chose the dream spot.
Yeah, not the greatest location considering it's Frederick, Maryland. But I am headed to Mount St. Mary's, Iona tomorrow night. My first ever game at Knott Arena. They've been everyone there has kind of wanted me to come down at some point over the past couple of years, finally making it happen. So my only two MAC schools that I will not have not been to are Canisius and Niagara. I will hit those next season.
Coach Lind came on the pod before you attended one of his home games.
He came to a home game for me before I came to a home game for him. I was at George Mason Penn today. That was a really fun game. Got some good quotes from Fran and Tony Skin afterwards. We'll get into our high major non-conference roundup, but there has been one storyline in college basketball that we need to talk about before we even get to that, Jonathan, and that is that there are going to be college basketball players joining teams mid-season, at least one that was drafted to play in the NBA, and James Najee going to Baylor. He was drafted to play in the NBA. He played Summer League. He has not played in the NBA, and he is going to play for Baylor in the second half of the season. He is a big man. Jocelyn Bodo will not play this season, if I recall correctly from that news. That was kind of buried within that, and this is kind of their replacement for him in that sense, Jonathan. Mm-hmm. So James Najee, what is your take on the eligibility of James Najee, and then obviously the Trenton Flowers situation, which honestly to me is more about the reporting than it is about the actual news?
So
what are your thoughts?
I'll start by saying that, a 21-year-old getting 4 years of eligibility is a little ridiculous.
I don't think he's going to need it.
Huh?
I don't think he's going to need it. But, like, theoretically, if the Knicks don't want him on the roster, they could just, like, tell him to go back to college for 4 years and say, we'll have you in 4 years, right? Or did the rights expire?
I have no idea. I have no idea if his contract holds up or anything like that. However, this may sound a little controversial, and I would love, if you had pushback to push back on it. I don't have a problem with college-age kids playing college basketball.
I don't either. I do have a problem with somebody who has made the decision to bypass the college game coming back and playing college basketball after having already made that decision. I think that I just think that we're going down a slippery slope. Like, I don't actually mind James Najee himself coming over to play college basketball. If the rule were that you just couldn't have played in the NBA, like, that's one thing. But that's not necessarily the rule that we have. We don't know what the rules are right now. And I fear there's a slippery slope. James Najee could be one of them. Trenton Flowers, obviously, the bigger name in this scenario, as he's played 8 NBA games. He's played for the Bulls this year. Like if I think that we just need to be in a spot where we need to understand who is and isn't eligible before a season. And I also think that a mid-season addition in college basketball should never be allowed to play that season. If you should have to join the team before the first semester starts, in my opinion.
Yeah, that seems fair. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm an expert on the laws and rules of all of this. Just in my brain, it makes sense that 21-year-old who 21-year-old is college age, so he should be allowed to play college basketball if he's so chooses. The one other thing that I'll add is I don't really have a huge problem with Trenton Flowers playing college basketball as long as like the eligibility matches his age either. And like
it would be what, 2 years?
The NBA stuff doesn't bother me just because like people do understand that there are players a lot better than Trenton Flowers that could still be in college basketball if they chose to do so.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Like Cooper Flag could play 3 more years of college basketball if he wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he decided, hey, I'm having so much fun.
Anthony Davis would have been a senior on the 38-0 Kentucky team.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's just not a huge issue to me. Now, like,
I disagree with this.
Do I agree that like this is like signs? These are like bad signs, and like things are trending in the wrong direction. Yeah, sure.
But like, where do you personally draw the line?
It's age for me.
Okay.
Like if you go through without red shirts or anything like that, like let's say you don't take a medical red shirt or anything like that, or you use your red shirt, like if you're 24 or 25, whatever it is timeline wise, you shouldn't be playing college basketball.
Yeah, and I'm with that as well. I know that like Green Bay has a 29-year-old player, New Orleans has a 29-year-old player, and I think that that's awesome for those players. And I know that like the stories they have. I also just personally think that there should definitely be an upper bound on age in college athletics, at least at the NCAA Division I level. If you want to play NAIA or Division II, I think that's a different story than Division I. But I also don't know how the NCAA would be able to legislate any of this. I think that if you are allowing someone to play Division II, how are you not allowing them to play Division I? They're going to get sued if you're withholding opportunities, yada yada yada. Uh-huh. And that's kind of the situation that we're in. Is I don't think that the NCAA or really anybody has any sort of control over where this is headed, and we might be headed to a place where anybody who wants to play college basketball will be able to play college basketball, which theoretically is good for the game until you actually think about it. It is very antithetical to the idea of what college basketball is when you factor in that these kids are essentially no longer students the way they once were. They're not taking most of the highest level players in college basketball are not taking a ton of in-person classes. They're not walking around campus like a student. They are not in tune with their student body the way that they have been in the past at the highest level of college basketball. And I think that it's hard to draw any physical lines anywhere in that situation, but that feels like there's a certain line in the sand in college athletics right now. And I think we're starting to feel that. I have problems with people who chose to bypass college basketball in its entirety. Made the final decision to completely bypass college basketball. At the time they made the decision, they did not know that they would be able to come back and play college basketball, be eligible through all this stuff. They made the decision to not play college basketball, to forego their theoretical, at the time, eligibility in college basketball by entering the NBA draft and staying in the NBA draft. That to me is where I draw the line. If you want to be a 22-year-old from somewhere in the middle of Europe, if you want to be a 22-year-old from Macedonia who never declared for the draft, that no one has ever heard of before Arman Jovic tweets about him, and you want to come play a year of college basketball for Alabama A&M, be my guest. Do it. You want to, if you come from Suriname and you're 22 or you're 19 and you want to play college basketball for Oregon State, go ahead. But if you chose to enter the NBA draft and stay in the NBA draft, that is where I draw the line, because you are at that point electing to bypass college. The problem is I don't think the NCAA has any ability to legislate this, and they're screwed.
Yeah, that, and I guess they're feared getting sued. The one other component that I don't feel like anyone is discussing from this, Sam, are these players any good?
That's a good question, because
Thierry Darlin was in the G League and is currently playing for Santa Clara, and has been.
He's like a monster on defense.
But he is absolutely awful in the offensive end. Awful anything he does on defense is completely
the worst offensive player. He might be the worst offensive player on a Ken Palm top 90. What are they in Ken Palm right now? 57. He might be the worst offensive player that gets consistent minutes on a top 60 team.
Is James Najee elevating Baylor to this new level? Probably not.
I mean, right? Here's the question though: is James Najee a guy who has been playing for Barcelona, playing minutes for Barcelona, played minutes for Girona in the Spanish league this year, or last year? Is he is he better than Jocelyn Bodo? Maybe.
If the Knicks have his rights, right?
Yes.
If you held a gun to the GM of the Knicks' head, to Leon Rose's head, and asked him how many players in college basketball would you rather have in your organization over James Najee right now? What do you think the answer is?
100.
It's hard to grasp exactly, but
maybe not 100, but
I don't think
definitely 50.
I don't think this kid is going to. I don't think this 21-year-old who is now coming into Baylor is going to be all of a sudden lighting up the world and
I think it's a good addition for them though. I think it's what they needed.
They needed a center.
We've been talking all year about Baylor on the condition of, they'll be fine when they get Bodo back. They'll be fine when they get Bodo back. Bodo's not coming back. They don't have a center. I don't know.
Can we say
I don't know if Najee's got the versatility to play in different coverages, or if he's just a drop big like Bodo was. I'll have to ask my NBA draft people. Baylor's 104th in defense. They don't have anybody that gets consistent minutes taller than 6'9" Caden Powell, who's their lowest usage offensive player. They don't have a guy with a block rate higher than Cam Carr, who's the 6'5" wing.
Mm-hmm.
They need this really bad.
Yeah, I don't think he's changing the trajectory of their team by any means. Certainly can come in and help at 7-1.
I think this could absolutely change the trajectory of their team, but just not in a way that we didn't predict. Just not in a way. I think it's just a one-for-one.
Dude, hasn't practiced with them at all. Doesn't know the guys on the team. I don't think it's quite as simple as he's 7-1 and they're missing.
It could change the trajectory. I don't think it will. It could. It could.
Also, are we out on dragging programs that are adding these guys? Scott Drew's job is to make the best possible team that he can, right? And win in as many games as he can.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
My connection was bad, so I switched to my hotspot.
That's okay. Did you hear what I said?
No, what did you say?
Are we out on dragging like these programs and coaches who take these guys?
No. Because for me, if all the coaches around the country are going to complain, which a lot of them are, somebody needs to step up and have a backbone and not cry for help the first time they need it. So,
but by all the coaches, do you mean Tom Izzo, who will literally complain about anything?
No, you are getting coaches. Kevin Willard's complaining about it. Rick Pitino's complaining about it. Every coach in the country that is getting in front of a microphone that doesn't need, and Rick Pitino needs a point guard, and that doesn't need something right now, is basically saying, no, like, this is awful. This shouldn't be happening. Meanwhile, you know that if they could, or if they were in the position where they had to, they would be taking somebody.
Tom Izzo, notorious complainer. Kevin Willard left his players out to dry last spring. Who was the third one? Rick Pitino, notorious complainer.
But it's not just them. If you get coaches around the country and you ask them the question of, like, do you support what's going on in college basketball right now in terms of all these players coming in, I guarantee you many of them will say no until they need one. Coaches are hypocrites. They are the biggest, and I'm not directing this to any one particular coach. I cover a lot of coaches, and I know that all these guys are trying to put food on the table. Coaches are the biggest hypocrites in the world, and they know this about themselves. They will cry for help, and then they will go out and do that thing. They are incredibly competitive when it comes to this stuff. And the moment they know it can give them a competitive advantage, they're not talking about how bad it is anymore.
Objectively, Scott Drew's job is to build the best team and win as many games.
Correct, it is.
And
I also believe that there should be that he should have a backbone for what the sport is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that he is the only one in the country that should be singled out and blamed for this. But I do believe that this is a symptom. It's a symptom of everything that's going on in the sport. It is not the
yeah.
It is the sport itself. The college sports landscape itself is broken, not the idea of what is going on with Scott Drew, with what is going on with this coach. And we said it in college football too. Like, the sport is broken, not the playoff. There's a really good CBS column about that.
For now,
but that's where I'm at with this. I think that we should criticize coaches for the way that they discuss this and the way that they act towards it. But I'm not blaming them. Like, would I have had the backbone to do this in this situation? I can't say I would.
Yeah. No, I think that's really fair.
All right, we've gone 20 minutes. We haven't gotten into the meat of the show. We just talked about
honestly, like we may have. I don't want to toot our own horn here, but we may have just had the healthiest discussion on this subject out of anyone that I've seen this week.
I thought it was a very healthy discussion. There are a lot of people on Twitter that are not willing to discuss it at all. Like,
some people just want to be miserable for the sake of being miserable.
Do you want to like college basketball or not? Like, just because, like, I don't like this either. I wish it wasn't happening like this. But there are so many people that, and I saw the same thing with the players are, like, you can criticize something. You can not like it. And you can still be bought in on college basketball as a sport. You don't have to trash everything about college basketball because there's a couple things in a couple places, and it's getting bigger. It is that you don't like. If that's the way you feel, fine. That's the way you feel. But I think that there are way too many people just trying to be miserable, as Jonathan mentioned, about college athletics. We can be miserable whenever we want. Let's try and I don't want to say embrace this because it's not something that we should be embracing. But let's try and let it play out for a season and see what happens before we basically turn ourselves off to the entire sport.
Yeah, we don't.
And by the way, I don't think anybody is actually not watching college basketball anymore because Thierry Darlan is averaging 5 and 4 at Santa Clara
with a 96 offensive rating.
That's 30 points higher than I thought it was, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of things that you can point to in the sport that I think are generally bad and we don't like, but. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you want to watch something else, that's up to you. We can move on.
All right.
I've had my fun with this.
All right, we've said our piece. That will be the only time we talk about this thing all year. I promise you. 22 minutes, that's all you're going to get out of us this year on that topic.
I won't promise that for what it's worth.
We are a basketball podcast. We will talk about basketball. We will also talk about my New England Patriots, who are AFC East champions.
Congratulations.
And Jonathan giving up the Chicago Bears.
Those dude, they look great. Their defense is still not good.
They are currently playing what might be the best football game of the entire season.
I'm pretty confident that. Right, I watched the first half of the game before we hopped on here. I'm pretty confident that this is the best game that Caleb Williams has played since he left USC.
All right, let's do this.
Yeah.
Baylor.
So how do we want to do this?
Do we want to start right there in the Big 12?
Conference by conference or what?
Yeah, let's just start in the Big 12. Let's start with Baylor because we were just talking about them. Currently 9-2. They'll play Arlington Baptist tomorrow. Is Scott Drew friends with that coach? They play them every year.
He has to be, right?
He has to be.
I mean, obviously,
they always play on at least one non-Division One. That's not something high majors do. But 9-2, best win is Creighton, which is honestly looking a little bit better. We'll talk a little bit about Creighton later. They kind of destroyed 2 Big East teams, but wins over Creighton and Washington, losses to St. John's and Memphis. Again, the Najee situation probably changes the overall outlook a little bit because you now have a big man. The San Diego State win is also there. But this isn't they still have work to do. They have wins. They look like a tournament team. They're 29th in KenPom. They're probably a tournament team. But this is probably more of a 10 seed than it is a 6 seed.
Yeah, so far it hasn't looked that much different than the last couple of years of Baylor, but obviously, maybe Najee changes that. I think that they have some awesome wings who are great play drivers and good point of attack defenders, but the rim protection has been lacking, and the no middle still, it doesn't work unless you have guys that can protect the rim.
Let's stay in the Big 12, stay in the state of Texas. The Houston Cougars are 11-1. We haven't had a podcast, Jonathan, since their 94-85 win over Arkansas, the most impressive performance of Houston's season.
That game wasn't nearly as close as the score indicates. Houston controlled that from almost tip to finish. And I'm still pretty comfortable saying that they're fine.
Yeah, that was the moment where I put Houston back in the. They look like right now, if the tournament started today, they could win a national championship because they did it with Kingston Flemings taking 15 shots, Milos Uzan taking 10 shots, and Emmanuel Sharp taking 13 shots. Chris Sinak took more shots than JoJo Tugler, and then Ramon Walker was awesome off the bench. It was their guards who were driving their offense. Sinak was their top forward offensively, and they got production from their bench. What more do you need? And obviously Tugler was incredible defensively when he was on the floor. Did foul a bunch. That's kind of what he's going to have to do at some points. But I don't feel like they're force feeding him as much. The last 3 games, his usage rate 9, 12, 17. Remember, this was a guy who last year was a 17% usage. They had that up in like 21, 22, and we were all complaining about it. So I'm really glad that Houston has kind of knocked that down. Kingston Flemings is probably the best freshman point guard in the sport right now, with Darren Peterson out. I would say he's been better than Michael Brown. He's been better than those guys. He's been Flemings maybe been one of the 5 best freshmen in the sport. What would you think?
Cam, AJ, Koa, McKell? I don't know. I think it's certainly a good argument for it.
Cam, AJ, Caleb, and Kingston.
Caleb. I forgot Caleb.
I don't think when was the last time you looked at Michael Brown's shooting percentages, Jonathan?
It's been a while.
38 from the field, 27 from 3.
Ooh, yikes.
Yeah.
You shooting 27% from 3.
Yeah. Conwell's been that team's best player.
So if you look at Houston's usage rates by player,
there's 5 significant contributors.
It looks a lot more similar to last year, which wasn't the case early in the year. Generally a good sign for them.
Yeah. Would like to move on, talk a little bit about another Texas Big 12 team, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. I got to see them in person last Saturday.
Oh, you sure did.
This was an unbelievable basketball game. Just in terms of the story, I'm not sure if there's going to be a game with a better individual through story in the entire sport than that one until the NCAA tournament, Jonathan.
Yeah. They had 4 players available and came back down 17. It was a heck of a win. And, I think if Bam Boy gets healthy, he didn't play today either, but Petty is coming on for them in a big way. And this is a kid that I really liked out of the state of Washington and the Seattle metro area. But yeah, he can score.
No.
I just clicked on the Ken Palm curling link on accident.
But for me, what this win was one of the great culture wins in the last 10 years of college basketball. Nolan Groves hadn't played.
It'd be a fun list to put together.
Nolan Groves hadn't played meaningful minutes in a month. Here, guard Cam Boozer. Now, it was a bad. Boozer did not play well in the last couple minutes of this game, just simply on the way that he, kind of was a little passive in that spot. But I would like to also say that the fact of the matter is Texas Tech got the job done in a way that you could not have possibly expected them to get it done.
Yeah, I mean,
are you in on this?
Texted me that Nolan Groves wasn't getting killed out there.
Are you in on Texas Tech as a Final Four contender again?
I mean, I'm in on a lot of teams as a Final Four contender. Well, like when it comes down to it, you have to win 4 games in a row. NC State did it a couple years ago, and that team was awful.
Okay.
So
Texas Tech's first Big 12 game.
Am I in on them as like a top 15 team? Like, we'll see.
Texas Tech's first Big 12 game will be against 11-1 Oklahoma State, Jonathan. Oklahoma State has been one of the surprises of the season. Yes, they have the loss to Oklahoma. No, they don't really have any like earth-shattering wins. They did beat Texas A&M. They did beat Northwestern on the road. They did beat Grand Canyon. Semi away, Grand Canyon and Northwestern, and they beat South Florida at home. They're dealing with some injuries right now. Parsifala did not play in the last 2 games. Kanye Clary did not play in the last game. Lesfteris Manzoukas did not play in the last 2 games. Anthony Roy missed some time early in the year. Victorious Miller missed a game, I think, but he's back. Overall, though, Oklahoma State playing super, super fast, playing a lot of guys. And maybe that's how you make it work with a lot of ball handlers. You just have a ton of possessions and go deep into your bench, and that's how you get these guys their shots.
Yeah, everyone gets their chance.
Yeah, everybody's got to eat.
Yeah, I still think this team is just fine. Like they have a lot of creators and have made tough shots, and it's been the reason I think for their 11-1 start. But maybe definitely more competitive than I thought they would be.
I am very surprised that UCF is 45th in KenPom. They are also 11-1. Their only loss is by 12 to Vanderbilt. And they play Kansas first at home. That is an interesting game. That is a game that can completely flip the narrative on their season, considering nobody's talking about them. If they win that game and get to 12-1, everyone will be talking about them.
I kind of think that they're going to come down to earth.
I don't disagree.
Like Riley Kugel's not going to shoot 40% for the entire year, right? From 3.
No. But I do think Fulks has been awesome for them.
Fulks is a legit playmaking guard.
Yeah. Really odd that Devin Cambridge is still playing college basketball. Feels like he's been in the sport forever.
Yeah, I mean he's on his
7th year.
Am I counting 7th years? 7 years?
But you've got Pacheco shooting it.
But there's a problem with the 21-year-old playing.
You've got Chris Johnson shooting it. Again, not a guy that I expected to be a factor in high major basketball. Again, he hasn't played a ton, but he's shooting it pretty well. Jordan Burks is shooting again. Not guys that I expected to be factors in high major basketball at this point. Kugel, I felt like kind of wore out his stay at a couple different spots. Burks just did not come away tremendously impressed with him at Georgetown last year. Was solid, but not awesome. Fulks, I wasn't sure if he even had another year. I guess he did because of the COVID year. Carmelo Pacheco was playing Division II ball at UVA Wise 2 years ago, and he's awesome. So just not guys that you would expect in this spot. And I think we now know why BJ Freeman never ended up playing a game for them. But they have a big opportunity against Kansas. Speaking of the Jayhawks, the biggest storyline for them this year has obviously been the lack of a Darren Peterson presence, the injuries that he's dealt with. But this is the number 7 defense in the country, the number 4 effective field goal percentage defense in the country. And they're doing it all because, Flory Baidunga is an incredible rim protector, an incredible interior defender, and he is the key to this team. His floor. Darren Peterson is obviously the key to the ceiling.
Yeah, I can't decide whether I like him or not.
Okay.
they have moments where I think they're a top 10 team. They have moments where I think, like I can't believe what I'm watching. Like Melvin Council has to be like the most frustrating like player to deal with if you're a Kansas fan, because like he goes for what 36 in that game against NC State, and like he's so quick and does so many things well, but like it feels like sometimes he's just playing way over his skill set. Like, why has he attempted 53s this year?
He made 9 of them against.
It's ridiculous. He's like, if he hits half of that many again, like I'll be surprised.
Yeah. I would say let's move on from Kansas and talk about their in-state rival, Kansas State, who stinks.
Awful basketball team.
What more needs to be said?
Awful basketball team. Should have lost a bye game to Tulsa, and then actually did lose a bye game like 2 weeks later to Bowling Green.
By the way, good bye game opponents, like really, really good bye game opponents. Tulsa,
yeah,
and
but
Bowling
like you
Green.
can't be getting smoked by Bowling
We
Green.
will talk about both Tulsa and Bowling Green tomorrow on the Brackets, Bubbles, and Bid Steelers mid-major roundup. That show will start 9 a.m. Jonathan, you ready for that one?
Yeah, I think so.
We've got to speed run some stuff. Let's go through the rest of the Big 12 before we, like the rest of the bottom of the Big 12 before we hit on some of the top teams. TCU, Jonathan, any thoughts?
No.
I just want to say, like,
TCU this year.
That Florida win going to age pretty well. Not sure what else is going to age on this resume. Don't know about the Wisconsin win at this point. Don't know what they look like. Definitely think that they're kind of what we thought they were going to be in terms of just tough-nosed defensive team, doesn't score. West Virginia. Okay. Anything on West Virginia or Cincinnati, Arizona State, Colorado, Utah?
I mean, West is going to get fired. West Virginia is like okay, I think, like annoying to play against, but like offense is terrible. So yeah, I don't think I have much else on this. Like
all right, let's talk about
Arizona State is like better than
they're like I think Arizona State's like really fun.
Yeah, fun is a good word.
They're not good. They're fun. Pig Johnson and Mo Odom, and you mentioned your boy Masamba Diop.
Diop, yeah, he's gonna be an NBA player at some point.
Yeah, well, right now he's a college basketball player, which is at this point you cannot.
Someone's taking a chance on him. He's 7'1" and can handle the ball.
Yeah. All right, Arizona, the current number 1 team in the AP poll, I believe.
Yeah.
Number 2 in Ken Palm. Just handled San Diego State 68-45 in Phoenix, held them to 0.72 points per possession. They are the number 3 defense in the country, the number 10 offense. They will open. They still have South Dakota State tomorrow. They will open Big 12 play against Utah on the road, mountain trip. First of 2 mountain trips, by the way. It's actually first of 3 mountain trips. So,
they're improving. They're shooting more threes, which I think I like for their long-term trajectory. Their start of conference play is just a joke, to put it lightly. Like Utah, Kansas State, TCU, Arizona State, UCF, Cincinnati, West Virginia. Like they don't play a for sure NCAA tournament team again until January 26th.
Yeah. Arizona will almost definitely be undefeated going to BYU on Big Monday. That will be that will lead the podcast on a night with Louisville Duke. That might be the biggest Monday
of the year
of the last like 5 years.
Yeah, the ACC being down has really put a damper on Big Monday. but we may be back soon. The project Make the ACC Great Again is well underway.
Yeah. Really looking forward to that game. Arizona, do we have any extra thoughts? I've talked about Karchenkov on the pod before, so I don't really want to get more into that.
Why is everyone killing Duke for their depth issues, but like not Arizona?
I don't want to kill Duke or Arizona for anything. Those
I don't want to do either, but like why is like
6 teams in the country?
Why is like no, I'm not saying it's right to kill either, but like why is like what Duke's doing isn't sustainable, a like actual thing, but like Arizona's isn't. Neither is a real talking point for what it's worth, but like it's just like why is one being said and not the other?
All right. Iowa State also 12-0. Number 3 in the AP poll. Number 3 in the AP poll. Number 12 offense, number 2 defense. That blowout win over Purdue. Home win over Iowa that we discussed. With Tate Frazier a couple weeks ago. Josh Jefferson, the number 2 player and Ken Pom player of the year at the moment. And we will have to see what they do early in conference play. They do have to go to Baylor on January 7th, Kansas on January 13th. So that's 2 tough road games in the first month of Big 12 play. They don't play Arizona until March, Jonathan. Where are we with the Clones?
Hard to argue that they're not one of the best 5 teams in the country. Like, really elite defense, really good offense alongside it. They have legit guard play. They shoot, rebound. Specifically in the offensive end, they rebound. Like it's a really good roster and a really well coached team.
Yeah, I like Iowa State a lot. And then BYU, a team that I want to talk about a little bit because they are 12-1. They are 11th in Ken Pom, and they have not lost since that UConn game. Now, they also have not played a big game since the Clemson game. They do not play a big game in the Big 12 until they go to Texas Tech on January 17th. So we will probably not talk about BYU for a bit on this pod. Jonathan.
Unless they lose.
Jonathan. Right now, AJ DeBonsta is the number 3 player and Ken Pom player of the year.
Yeah, he's been playing a lot better.
If you go look at his numbers, he is averaging, Jonathan, 23, 7, and 4 on 59% from the field. He's still only attempting 2.5 threes a game.
Yeah, but the reason that
in the last 2 games, Jonathan, he has attempted 31 free throws.
The reason that we nitpicked early in the year is because like we knew he could be this, and over the last couple weeks he's started to look.
I still don't think he's as good as he can be.
Well, he's not shooting threes. He's not he's not getting steals or blocks, but his floor is still pretty damn good.
He's so good. Now he hasn't had like the amount of marquee performances that Boozer has. But if you wanted to tell me you think AJ DeBonsta is the National Player of the Year right now, I'm not going to argue it.
I'd probably argue it, but
if you wanted to tell me Yaxel Lendeberg was the National Player of the Year right now, I wouldn't argue it.
I'd probably argue it.
Now, I think it's Boozer, but I think it's too early for it to not be an argument.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's touching Boozer right now. I mean, in two months, maybe that's different, but he's about as unstoppable as you can get in the sport.
Rob Wright, starting to come along. I mean, he's been along all year. He's been good. He's been great. Richie Saunders, just I still feel like we haven't seen like Richie Saunders play as well as we can, but that's just because he's not getting top billing. He's doing exactly what he can do at an extremely high level. It's just that it doesn't feel like it because you're watching AJ DeBonsta go out there and do more insane things. Richie Saunders has been freaking awesome this year. He's averaging 19 and 5 on 51 from the field.
Well, unlike last year, the NBA draft prospect on BYU isn't like actively hurting the team. So they don't need him to be their best player. And, as opposed to them being a 6 seed, they are a, 2-3 seed right now instead.
All right, Jonathan, here's my question. How many bids for the Big 12?
7.
8.
That's just off the top of my head. Like,
I'm going to guess 8.
Arizona, Iowa State.
I would say I think there's a chance for 9.
Arizona,
Iowa State, Houston, BYU, Kansas, Texas Tech, Baylor. That's 7.
That's 6.
No, that's 7.
That is 7.
I think someone else gets it. I don't know if it's Oklahoma State. I don't know if it's TCU. I don't know if it's UCF. And at this point, it's probably not Colorado. It's probably not Arizona State. But I think somebody else is going to get it. I think somebody else is going to finish like 500 in the league, have enough meat on their resume because they're going to pick off one of these teams once or twice. But the Big 12, like, I don't remember. It's not deep.
It's still somehow deeper than I thought it would be.
Like the middle of the Big 12 is not great. The top 7 is
Dude, I
great.
thought there would be like 3 teams outside the top 100 in this league. Like
The bottom is better. The middle is still not great.
Like TCU being 56, UCF being 45, Oklahoma State being 61. That's a lot better than I thought some of these teams were going to be. So maybe I just have to recalibrate my expectations.
All right. Do you want to talk Big East? Another conference that has been very disappointing.
Yeah, do we have to?
It's a high major conference, Jonathan. Do you want to talk about it?
It's not acting like it.
Do you want to talk about it today, or do you want to talk about it tomorrow?
It's acting like the WCC is what it's acting like.
UConn 12-1, 7 in Kent Bomb. Only loss is without Terrace Reed and Braylon Mullins against Arizona on November 19th. They have wins over Kansas. They have wins over Illinois, Florida, Texas, Butler, BYU. It is one of the most impressive resumes in the country. They are the number 4 defense in the country. It still feels like they have not hit their ceiling yet because they have not had Braylon Mullins and Terrace Reed together in full rhythm with this roster. Easy national championship contender.
They're a legit national championship contender. Their offense is still figuring itself out, and regardless, it's still a top 25 offense in the sport. Defenses looked really good. Reed being healthy and cleaning up everything at the rim for them is, pretty important. So
I do think there's been a little bit of 3-point shooting defensive variance on that side. Like I've seen teams miss open threes against them, but I also think that like the shooters that are taking these open threes are the ones you'd want to take the open threes.
I don't care.
UConn does not have a notable.
Nobody in this conference is making threes.
UConn does not have a notable game for a bit. They play Seton Hall on January 13th on the road. They are going to lose that game. Like that is what happens when Dan Hurley plays at Seton Hall.
We will be putting American currency on Seton Hall in that game.
Dude, you could put Bitcoin, you could put Chinese currency.
I don't know if it's me or Sam, but I'll just keep going. I guess. UConn just doesn't win at Seton Hall. They just don't, especially with Hurley as the coach. That game will be yucky. It'll be messy. It'll be low scoring. It'll just be gross. But Seton Hall will win. They will find a way. Let's go to St. John's. Until Sam gets back here. This has been one of the biggest underachievers. Sam, are you there?
I'm back.
Okay. I talked a little about the UConn Seton Hall game.
Okay. I want to talk about Seton Hall as a team because
I was going to go to St. John's next, but yeah.
I've been to 2 Seton Hall games this year. I watched a lot of their game against Providence as well. I think I talked about it a little bit, but man, Seton Hall is fun. They have energy. Their coach has energy. Their team has energy. They'll be a factor once they get Najai Hines back, which they hopefully are going to get him back from Marquette on Tuesday. I don't know if I'm seeing Seton Hall again this year.
They're the most watchable team in the country that doesn't have a top 100 offense.
They're the most watchable bad offensive team in the country.
Yeah. I mean, their defense is just amazing.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch.
I think they can make the tournament.
Because St. Thomas doesn't have a top 100 offense in the country. I think St. Thomas is incredibly watchable.
Seton Hall's projected 21-10 and 11-9 in the Big East right now. I don't think that'll get them into the tournament.
9 losses in this Big East is not getting you in. They have to lose 7 or fewer.
If it's 23-8 and 13-7 in league play, I definitely think they can get in. If
they have that win over UConn.
Oh, they're getting that win over UConn. UConn is not winning at Seton Hall. I guarantee it. 0% chance.
Not a chance. Moving forward, you want to talk St. John's?
Yeah, I always want to talk St. John's. Team just isn't good. They're somehow still 20th in KenPom. But their shooting's not fixed. Well, based on last year, somewhat fixed. They aren't, a super elite defense like they were last year. It's just a good defense, and not having a point guard seems to really actually hurt them.
Okay.
I don't know who could have saw that coming.
Here's the one thing I want to say. They were the number 19 defense on New Year's Eve last year.
So what happened? What changed?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
They finished number 2.
What do you think? What do you think changed?
I think that they started playing a bunch of teams who they had scouted really well.
So why isn't that happening this year?
Could.
What's stopping St. John's from having a top 10 defense?
Won't have the same feel.
What I agree, because they were 11-2 coming into conference.
Last year was a worst offensive team, but they had a clear identity on offense, and I don't think this team does.
Yeah. What's stopping St. John's from having a top 10 defense on Selection Sunday?
I mean, teams hitting threes. Teams are only shooting 29% from 3 against them.
Teams shot 30% from 3 against them last year.
Oh, so that can improve.
Here's what I'll say. The St. John's team is not good right now. They are not close to where they need to be. I don't want to see them in my quad if I'm a 3 seed and they're a 6 seed. Or if I'm a 2 seed and they're a 7 seed.
If I have any resemblance of physicality, I kind of want to see them in my quad.
Okay. My thing is, I don't. I just think that I think that they will get better over the course of the year. Because I saw it with my own eyes 3 years ago. A Rick Pitino team at Iona was they looked dog shit in January. They were 6-3 in the MAC. And they were down 17-2 to Quinnipiac. They didn't lose until they lost to UConn. I've seen a Rick Pitino team that where it looks like it's going off the rails, and he brings it back on. I don't think this team's going to be anything better than a 6 seed. I think the 6 seed is going to be the ceiling for this team. But if they're a 6 seed and I'm a 3 seed, that's a dangerous 6 seed. It's not a team that can. I don't think this is a team that can make a Final Four. I don't. but I would be surprised if
Really? Because Seth Davis is already picking them too.
I would not be surprised if this team finds its way in the Sweet 16. Just out of
Yeah,
sheer...
I mean, that's, winning 2 games, one of which you're probably favored in. So
yeah.
I think it's
Back to
doable.
the rest of the Big East. Shout out to Villanova. Good win against Seton Hall on last Tuesday. Yeah, last Tuesday. They were up 20 in that game. The score is not as close. Score is closer than the game. Bryce Lindsey was good, but Caden Lewis was the man.
Yeah,
I love
yeah. I actually kind of buy this Nova team. They play really slow, and the offensive rebound. Like they do some things that make them really annoying to play against, and they have a really, really good point guard, Caden Lewis, who probably should be drafted next summer.
Caden's awesome. To me, this is they look really well coached. They look disciplined. They rebound the ball because they have Duke Brennan. They're playing slow. I don't think they're where they need to be in order to win tournament games. I think this is kind of like the opposite of St. John's. I have a hard time picturing this Villanova team in the second weekend. But
the picture game is a dangerous one, but I'm still a believer.
It is. I have a hard time seeing this Villanova team in the second weekend. But again, they could be a 6 seed. It's just a 6 seed that I would feel more comfortable with.
They're 25th in KenPom. That's way better than I thought they would be.
Yeah. Butler?
Fine basketball team, I think.
What about Creighton?
Another team that offensive rebounds.
Do you have any revised thoughts on Creighton after they smoked Xavier and Marquette?
No, they're terrible. Xavier and Marquette are terrible teams, and that's kind of the way it rolls sometimes.
Creighton still does not have a win against the KenPom Top 70. That could change on Tuesday. Will it? They played Butler at home.
Yeah, I'll give them a win there.
They play Seton Hall away after that. Will they win that?
No.
Then they play Villanova away and St. John's at home. Will they win either of those?
Yeah.
1 or 2?
1.
Jonathan, you are projecting Creighton to be 10-7.
Yeah, that's not going to cut it. Not going to.
No, it's not. Not in this Big East.
No,
especially with 2 UConn games plus St. John's away still on the schedule.
No, I still think this defense is really bad, and somehow they're a borderline top 40 defense in the country. But those Xavier and Marquette games were they won in blowout fashion.
They were St. Bonaventure VCU games.
Yeah, they were doing some.
Sorry, St. Bonaventure Virginia Tech.
They're doing some serious heavy lifting right now.
They're doing some hokey.
They also another thing. They don't foul at all, which I think is generally pretty bad.
It's the same thing as last year, where they don't foul, they don't force.
But it's different. You don't have.
But they don't block shots this year.
You're right. They're not blocking shots, and generally you want to commit some fouls.
They're just a soft basketball team.
Yeah, a soft basketball team that's somehow 44th in KenPom.
Somehow it's because they beat Xavier by 41 on the road.
Those
moved them up by 24 spots. Jonathan.
Those are not serious teams. You should not get a KenPom boost for overperforming against the team that kicked the player off the team today.
Yeah, Marquette's 1-14 in KenPom. They're 5-8. Is Marquette the worst team in the Big East, Jonathan?
Yes, I think
they're worse than DePaul to you.
I think so.
Okay, talk about it.
Listen, DePaul's not kicking players off the team. That's all I'm saying.
Is that your criteria for being the worst team in the conference?
Well, it's not my criteria, but it certainly plays a factor. If you're deciding between 2 teams, and projecting future outcomes, and one of them just kicked the player off the team, usually it's not a super promising, indicator.
Yeah, Zayd Lowry leaves got kicked off the team today. Marquette on Twitter, their official account refuted a rumor.
That
It
was
said
true, dude. That account did better reporting than Tipton.
It said the information regarding the altercation is inaccurate. That means the information regarding the altercation
is accurate.
Either that or they're saying there was an altercation. They said that the news, by the way, was that Zayd Lowry had an altercation with assistant coach Cody Hatt. I know nothing about this. I can't tell you if this happened, if it didn't happen, whatever. I think it's funny that their official account, felt they need to refute a rumor.
What are the odds? What are the odds? Is just like some intern who lost control.
Zero. That is a coordinated thing from the head coach, from the communications department. There's a 0% chance that anybody that isn't like super dialed in would be tweeting from the Marquette account at that point.
True. Yeah, you're probably you know more about that than I. So I trust you on that one.
Providence.
Do we have to?
No.
Their coach is getting fired. Like, what else do you want me to say?
Are you putting any Big East teams on boycott watch?
No. The Big East is a super watchable league.
Georgetown might have to go on boycott watch after Ed Cooley violently assaulted a young child.
Dude, Big East Twitter's great. The fan bases are super fun.
Hey! All I gotta say, he violently assaulted a young child with a water bottle.
This is true. He did do that.
I cannot believe it.
That's not gonna make me stop watching his team. It's gonna make me stop watching him throw water bottles.
No, it's going to make me continue to watch him throw water bottles. I hope he keeps throwing water bottles, except instead of at babies, at refs.
Put it on a quote graphic. I hope he continues to throw water bottles. I'm texting CJ right now.
I need Ed Cooley to continue. Like, Ed Cooley pulls Malik Mack from the game, pelts him with a full water bottle. I need to see that. I need to see that on Wednesday against St. John's. No. I need to see that next Tuesday on January 6th against DePaul. It will be the worst thing to ever happen with a Washington, D.C. thing on January 6th. All right, Jonathan, let's move on. DePaul is 8-5. They are 0-2 in the Big East. Do you care?
No.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on from the Big East. Actually, Xavier. Any thoughts?
Another terrible team.
Hey, they forced Ed Cooley to throw a water bottle. I'm in.
Fair.
Oh, and by the way, I unequivocally condemn that behavior for what it's worth.
Oh, really?
I just want to make sure that I'm being clear with that.
Another quote from another quote graphic. I do not think head coaches should throw water bottles.
I know everything I've said in the last 2 minutes, but I unequivocally condemn that behavior. Just want to make sure that the Bears have 4 seconds and they have second and goal. They need a touchdown to win. Caleb spins away. He's at the 12. He's got to get rid of the ball. Incomplete. The 49ers win.
Time run out?
Well, he threw it.
But it's over. The game's over.
Yes. All right, Jonathan.
They didn't press the turnover button enough tonight.
Ooh, very, very good Bud Elliott reference. Move on from the Big East. Let's go to the SEC. Give me 3 teams that you want to talk about? I'll go with 3 teams, then we'll just keep rotating through.
Sorry, what conference do we want to go to?
SEC.
Oh, okay. So you want me to give you 3 teams?
Talk about 3 teams. I'll talk about 3 teams.
Okay, well, you know who I'm going to start with.
Go.
Missouri.
Okay.
I'm taking this off now. Like, this is not a good team. It should be a lot better than a couple years ago when they went 0-19 in conference play, including the SEC tournament loss, because the talent's better. But, I stand by what I said, a week ago. This defense will not be good as long as Dennis Gates continues to run this system that they're running. They're basically trying to run this basically trying to run this like half court version of buckyball, and like it doesn't work because like high major players are like good and can take care of the ball against athletes.
Next, Jonathan.
I'm thinking. I'm going to go Florida.
Okay.
I think they're improving a lot. Like, I think the offense is starting to figure itself out. I think Lee's looked a little more comfortable in the last couple weeks. And, like, they're just an offensive rebounding machine. Like, I think this will work. I just don't know to what extent.
All right, go on.
I'll go Kentucky for my last one. Quaintance is the real deal, man. Like, if Jalen Lowe stays healthy and gets fully healthy, and they're like,
oh wait, we forgot to do the exercise. How many bids out of the Big East?
3.
3. 3, max 4. Go back to Kentucky.
I mean, Jaden Quaintance is maybe the best center prospect in the country. Like, he completely changes their defense. Like, I don't. I thought Kentucky would look better at the start of the year without him, and like Moreno has been quite good, in my opinion, this year on both ends of the floor. But I mean, like, Quaintance is just a complete game. He completely changes what you do on the defensive end.
Yeah, I think
I'm like kind of back in on them being like a top 10, 15 team.
I think Kentucky has a chance to win the SEC.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
All right, I'm going to talk about Vanderbilt. I love this team. Tyler Tanner is like my favorite player in the country. Duke Miles Jonathan is 10th in Ken Bom Player of the Year right now. Did you know that?
I knew he was up there. I didn't know he was 10th.
They're 12-0. They just destroyed Wake Forest, like completely killed them. Mm-hmm. Frankie Collins is out for the season.
Is it the season or is it just extended?
I thought it said he was out for the season.
I thought it was just indefinitely, but he could be out for the year. I mean, he's good, but I don't think you're seeing
indefinitely. But torn meniscus, I'm assuming he's not coming back.
He's good, but I don't think he.
I think here's the thing. I think he's a perfect fit for Vanderbilt's system. Vanderbilt can still live without him. Is what I think.
Agreed.
Nickel has been incredible this year. Tanner, Jalen Washington's been a perfect fit. McLaughlin is 75% inside the arc. Jonathan, all of these guys, they play so fast. They play at such a pace. They whip the ball around the perimeter. They whip the ball into the paint. They're walking paint. All their guards are walking paint touches, and Miles is just an awesome player.
The other thing is, like, I don't want to diminish their rim finishing, but because of like their spacing and the way they play, like it's hard to protect the rim against them. You know that like they're number 1 in the entire country in like opponent shot blocking, right?
Yeah. It's incredible.
And they have small
you
guards.
need to watch this team play offense. It is the most watchable offense in the country.
Yeah.
Maybe Louisville. I would take Vanderbilt as the most watchable offense in the country. Vanderbilt, Alabama, January 7th. The most watchable game of the season so far?
That's good.
All right, Jonathan. My second team that I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about Mississippi, a team that has
on the
now
other end of the
lost
spectrum here.
5 of its last 7 games. I think we can officially, once they lose to Oklahoma, which I believe they will.
Are we getting these guys out of here?
Yes. I think we will officially be able to get these guys out of here.
Is that the first time we've done that on the pod this year?
I think it is. And it's not going to be the last in the next 20 seconds.
There are some. I want to say this: Mississippi is not the first team that like we have unofficially got these guys out of here. Some teams just don't deserve to be gotten out.
I cannot believe that graphic.
They don't deserve the privilege of being in that conversation in the first place. What'd you say?
CJ made the graphic.
Yeah.
So
I'm posting it
later. I can't post that.
Huh?
I can't post that. It's such a bad look.
Fine. A different account will be posting it then.
It's going on Instagram.
It is?
It has to.
Good.
Close friend story.
Good. Okay. Mississippi, awful.
Mississippi State, get these guys out of here.
Ooh, dude. The entire Mississippi has been gotten out of there in the last minute.
This is the worst college basketball season for Mississippi.
Hey, they beat Memphis.
Since most college basketball seasons for Mississippi.
In the NIL era, this is the worst college basketball season.
This is the worst college basketball season for the state of Mississippi since the state of Mississippi discovered that basketball was a sport 5 years ago.
Correct.
All right, Jonathan, give me 3 more.
Arkansas, still pretty high on this team's ceiling. Those freshman guards are really good, especially Acuff. He's been fantastic. Wings play with some real bounce and juice to them. Play Malik Ewan more, please. Play Nick Pringle less, please. And we'll have a better relationship with John Calipari there.
Yeah, give me the Tennessee Volunteers, who are currently 3rd in the SEC in KenPom at 9-3. They'll play South Carolina State on Tuesday, but then they play Arkansas. That's going to be an exciting one on Saturday. I'd like to think that we're going to have a Saturday Night Live. By the way.
Saturday Night what?
Saturday Night Live. That's what we're calling the Saturday night shows.
DeRosa. Are we gonna get like a season and desist for that?
Who cares? I'm not. We're not making money off of it.
To quote Scott Linskin, I will hang it on my wall.
What's the context?
I'll tell you after.
Okay. I still don't think this team is the 3rd best in the SEC. But hey, maybe Dwayne Brown steps up for them in Cade Phillips' absence. Maybe Amari Abram finally kind of starts to fizzle his way into the rotation. Maybe Amari Evans. I just think they need like somebody to come in and like establish themselves a little bit more as another scorer. Because like their best offense cannot be throw the ball into Jalen Carey.
Yeah, agreed.
You go.
A&M. They're like looking slightly better than early in the year.
Yeah, there was a moment this year where we were ready to get these guys out of here.
Yeah, I'm not officially. I'm not ready for that yet.
I would also say Oklahoma State and UCF being better than we expected kind of helps that. but they also don't have any notable wins. Have been impressed with Ruben Dominguez, one of my favorite players in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
AG has not been what Bucky McMillan said he would be in court, which was didn't he say like this is like an NBA first round pick in court when he was suing for another year of eligibility?
Did he say that?
I feel like I remember him saying that. Talk about. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Alabama Crimson Tide, who are another one of the most watchable offenses in the country. They play Yale tomorrow in what will be a very watchable basketball game at 8 o'clock on SEC Network. Plus, LeBaron Philon, as we know, is one of the best players in college basketball. Alabama should be a threat in the NCAA tournament, without a doubt. But this defense currently ranks 68th. They allowed 96 points to Arizona. They allowed 84 points to Clemson. They allowed 95 points to Gonzaga, 86 to Illinois, and 87 to Purdue, and 96 to St. John's. I know how fast they play. I get that. But I do fear that their defense just isn't good enough to get to where this team truly wants to go. Their defense is better than it was 2 years ago in KenPom. Their defense is not close to where it was last year in KenPom when they had Cliff Amore. Now, they made the Final Four 2 years ago with the 111th ranked defense in the country. I find it hard to believe that they'll do that again. That was the worst region in NCAA tournament history.
Yeah, it takes a lot of luck to be able to do that with a team like Alabama had.
I do think this team is better than that.
You know, hey, the variance is real.
I do think that this team is better than that one, and I would not be surprised if they're closer. Like this team has just no size on the inside. They have no physicality on the inside. Their guards are just so good.
Yeah.
All right.
So, Philon's a legit first team All-American candidate,
and Holloway's incredible too. Go on. Who's your next team?
I guess there's not a lot left. I have a whole bunch of interest talking about.
Come on, just pick one.
Georgia, I guess.
I'll talk Georgia.
Like, they feel so fake to me, but
no wins against the top 70 in KenPom. They go into SEC play with Auburn and then at Florida.
The problem is, again, like their guards are legitimately good, and they have a real rim protector.
Yes.
I don't know, like, you know, sometimes like teams will look really good against like that level of competition, and then, you know, they'll get into conference play. Teams will have them scouted a little better, and they're playing teams that are at or above their level, and they don't look quite as good. So, I mean, it happened to Georgia last year, I feel like.
I like Georgia. I think they're good.
I don't. I will never like a Mike White team.
Like, I don't think this team is awesome, but I would be very surprised if they're not a single-digit seed again.
I was actually really high on them last year, too, and they made the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I liked last year's team better than this one. But I do think this team has what it takes to be a single-digit seed, and I think they will be a single-digit seed because I think that they're physical enough and they're athletic enough to win enough games in the SEC. And I think
better chance Georgia reaches the Sweet 16 or misses the NCAA tournament.
This is the NCAA tournament. I do not think they will go out and beat a 1 seed.
Mm-hmm.
Auburn, LSU, Texas, Oklahoma, and South Carolina. Just rapid fire. Anything on any of those teams?
Auburn's defense is just horrendous.
LSU's is too. Texas's is too.
What's LSU and KenPom right now?
41. Oklahoma's defense is awful too. Like all those teams have awful defense.
LSU is slowly creeping back down.
Well, it honestly wasn't that slowly because they went down to 39 after the Texas Tech loss.
Get any nerves, Fetterman?
About what?
South Carolina.
No, not even close. Not even close to nervous.
That's unfortunately a bad basketball team.
They are awful.
Who's the worst Columbia this year?
Oh, South Carolina.
I don't know.
Like, at least Mizzou is like somewhat talented.
In theory. In theory, they're talented.
I guess that's a fair point.
All I'm saying is Mizzou should stop adding elite point of attack defenders if they're not going to defend at the point of attack.
I agree.
Okay. 2 conferences
How
left.
many bids?
Oh, right.
1, 2, 3.
Let's count them up here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to say 9.
I think they get 10.
I'm going to say 9.
I think 2 of LSU.
If Texas gets in, it's a real shame.
It's a shame, but they have the NC State win. The Arizona State loss might not age that badly, and they'll have so many chances. Like if they win, if they go 8-10 in the SEC and win an SEC tournament game, they might have a tournament resume. Depends on which SEC games they win. Okay, I'll go back to 9. 9 makes more sense. They're not getting in it. They're not getting in at 18 and 15.
You should not be an NCAA tournament team if at any point in the season you are a projected underdog against Missouri, which they are right now.
No, Mizzou's only a projected favorite in 3 SEC games.
You're surprised? Did you watch them play last Monday?
I mean, they're only 63rd in KenPom. Like, that's not that bad. Like, they're bad. Like, they're going to be worse than that.
They're worse than 63rd, dude.
Yeah, they're like 93rd.
Dude, they were also preseason 28th.
All right, let's move on. I did not watch them last Monday, by the way. I did not.
Oh, you missed a lot.
Oh, I did not miss much.
No, you missed a lot. You
let's move on.
You would have thought Illinois had the freaking dream team. Actually, I lied. The dream team probably would have lost to this Mizzou team. Yeah. All right.
You mean
what conference next?
The Balkan Dream Team?
I mean, the Balkan Dream Team is good, but we'll get to them.
We're going to talk about them right now because we're going to talk about the Big Ten.
Dude, we're saving the ACC for last?
Yes.
Oh, I never thought this day would come.
Hey, we made the ACC great again.
No. We're getting there.
We're making the ACC great again.
This isn't an overnight project.
All right. The Big Ten has 2 teams that are not even worth mentioning, so I'm not going to.
Oh. I would like to mention Rutgers.
Why?
What do you mean, why? Dude.
Why?
90% of their conference games are going to be non-competitive this year. How many teams in the country can you say that about? Seriously.
It's a good point. They should have lost to Penn.
They should have lost to Penn.
They were going to lose that game until TJ Power missed a free throw.
Rutgers, like, it's just an awesome basketball team, man.
Awful basketball team.
No, awesome.
All right, we're not allowed to mention the other team at the bottom.
Okay, fine.
Although I actually kind of think
we'll diss Austin Mitchell like that.
Yes. We're not talking about the women's team either. So we've talked enough about Michigan. We've talked enough about. I feel like we've talked enough about like the top teams in this league. You know who we haven't talked about, Jonathan? Ohio State. 34th in KenPom.
What do you want me to sit here and pretend like Jake Diebler should be their coach?
No, but they could make an NCAA tournament.
Agreed. Like,
I think Christoph Tilley's been really good this year. Obviously, we know how good Bruce Thornton is.
God, I really hope they lose at Rutgers.
That would be a disaster. Who else have we not really talked about in the Big Ten? Because I feel like we've talked about most of these teams.
We've definitely talked about Iowa. I feel like we've talked about USC, Wisconsin.
You want to talk Wisconsin?
I mean, they've been disappointing.
Very disappointing. They do not have a top 50 win.
8-4. They don't do a lot of Wisconsin things.
Explain.
I feel like it's not a lot of ball movement. Offense is pretty stagnant. Like,
yeah, it kind of
they don't shoot like.
I feel like they're kind of like trying to do what they did last year, and they're just not as good at it.
Crowell was probably a little more important to their defense than we thought.
Wait, are you finally admitting that Nolan Winter's not as good as you've always said he was?
Defensively, he's
He's a good player.
I mean, Rapp is a turnstile.
Yeah, Rapp's been bad defensively. Overall, that's kind of where I'm at. They'll make the tournament. I'm not concerned about that. I just don't know if they'll.
Nolan Winter is like far from the problem with this team, by the way.
No, I never said he was. What do you think is the problem for this team?
I don't think they're as deep as maybe we thought they were going to be. And
I agree.
Like I said, they don't do Wisconsin things.
I mean, I don't think we thought they were going to be deep anyway. I think
I just think of Wisconsin.
This is really like five guys that are good.
I just always think of Wisconsin as like the super disciplined team that's going to make you beat them, and they haven't been that this year.
I agree. Talk about a little bit more of the Big Ten teams going into this. A little bit on Washington, now 8-4. The loss to Seattle, that's bad. Like you can survive losing to Baylor, losing to Colorado without Hannes Steinbach, but you get Steinbach back. He goes for 15-12. Desmond Claude has probably his best game in a Washington uniform.
Mm-hmm.
And you lose to your city rival, who, by the way, is really good. Like, we'll talk about Seattle tomorrow. They did just lose today to San Francisco. But Seattle's good. They're a good team. That's not a loss that Washington can be taking, though. That's not a quad one loss. It's going to hurt them on Selection Sunday. And I don't think they're going to hit on the right side of the NCAA tournament at this point. And that's a shame because Hannes Steinbach would be an incredible player to watch in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Maryland, 7-6. Buzz Williams in year one. What do you think's gone wrong?
They're in between changing their identity.
Explain.
Like the mix of this super physical, rebounded oriented style that they put at Texas A&M. Like they have like half of like what they need for that.
I agree. I think you're hitting it there. Oregon 7-6. Just there's not enough dudes on this roster. I said it before. I'll say it again. This is a two-man team, maybe the biggest two-man team in the country, and that's a problem. They do not have a top 100 win. They will not have a top 100 win until at least January 8th. They may not have a top 100 win all year if they keep losing all their top 100 games.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Yeah. But Oregon is projected 14-17.
Yeah, that feels right.
Man, I had such high. I had such optimism.
Turns out having something that remotely resembles a high major wing actually matters.
I had so much optimism for Minnesota after the first two games.
Mm-hmm.
Since then, it's been bad, like
Yeah,
real bad. They got blown out at Mizzou. They lost to San Francisco. They got blown out at Purdue. They lost to Santa Clara. Kate Tyson's been really good, but nobody else on the team is making shots. Langston Reynolds has been turning it over. Chancey Willis has been turning it over. It's basically just, and Willis has been hurt as well. So you basically get, they need a lot out of Isaac Oxman. What'd you say?
Durkin's not shooting it well.
Yeah, they need a lot out of Asama, and they don't really kind of have the depth in the backcourt that we kind of expected them to have. And Robert Vejola has been hurt, and they were losing when he was playing too. They almost lost to freaking Green Bay.
Yeah, they.
By the way, Green Bay now with a full-time basketball coach.
They needed to be a good offensive team to succeed this year, and they're not.
You want to talk Northwestern, USC, and Indiana?
Northwestern's defense isn't as good as I thought it would be. That's, in my eyes, been the problem so far. They're 7-5. Like, they could have really used that Butler win. Came up just short. Like, you know, they've been right there in a couple games and just haven't been able to pull them out. But their defense being 72nd in Ken Palm has been the main issue to me.
Keep going on USC.
Yeah, I mean, I think it puts a huge dent on your season when the Rodney Rice is out for the year. I think you thought you could argue that he's been their best player this year, and he's obviously a tremendous shot creator. Hits threes, can get to the rim, play makes. Like, their offense probably changes a whole bunch without him.
Yeah. I'm going to talk a little about Indiana. They blew their opportunities against Louisville and Kentucky. They lost both those games. They have the loss to Minnesota. So we're not feeling like particularly awesome about them right now. They kind of need to win the Washington game for sure. As I mentioned, like, Sam Alexis has been awesome for them as their interior guy, but
their defense has actually been like quite good.
What do you say?
Defense has actually been quite good.
Yeah, but like, I don't think that Alexis has been as good in the last couple games. This team is not shooting the ball as well, maybe, as we thought they were, as I thought they would. And that's saying something for a team that's shooting at 36%. I just kind of thought this team would be like top 5, top 10 in the country in 3-point shooting. They're just not.
Sisley's not shooting it super well.
But like, I think Sisley's been really good.
DeVries is.
But my thing about this team is that, like, I think it's all there.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I've seen everything I need to see from this team. Like, I would not be surprised if we're coming around into March and this team looks really good heading into the Big Ten tournament. Like, I think I've seen everything I need to see, even if, like, it hasn't been perfect yet. We talked Iowa, we talked Illinois. Anybody else you want to talk about in this conference before we go?
How real do we think Nebraska is?
Top 25.
They're 24th in Ken Palm.
They're 5. They are 5 seed caliber.
Yeah. Mast is a dude.
I talked about this with Tate. One of my favorite teams in the country, just in terms of, again, you talk about offensive watchability. That ball flies around.
Mm-hmm.
How many NCAA tournament teams?
It's funny because my view of him has been kind of turned down a little bit because of a certain Twitter user and the way he tweets about him. But Fred Hoiberg really is good.
How many NCAA teams? 1, 2.
Dude, can I say like 11? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'll say 8.
I'm going 10.
I'll say 10 as well.
Because I don't think we're getting both Ohio State and Wisconsin.
No, I think Ohio State's going to make it. But for me, I think that if you're going by like, how they list them in the Big Ten page in KenPom right now, I think Michigan through Ohio State gets in. That should put me at 9, right?
Yeah.
And then either USC, Wisconsin, Washington, or like maybe Northwestern gets in.
All right. Let's make the ACC great again, Jonathan. The ACC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 win teams, Jonathan. It only has 3 teams outside of the top 100. Last year, the ACC had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams outside the top 100. This year, it's only 3, as I just mentioned. I will say those 3 are really bad. Like those 3, I think could all fall another 30 spots in Florida State.
Shout out to Christian. He was absolutely right about Florida State.
Yeah, this team's bad.
Them playing Florida close at the start of the year looks like a total fluke now. But I think for the most part, like we've been right about Virginia. I still like Clemson. SMU SMU is squarely in Enfield zone team again.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I think there's a chance Virginia is the second best team in the ACC.
Behind Duke.
Yes.
Yeah, I could buy that.
And I like Louisville a lot, especially on the offensive side of the ball. I think that it's more of a Virginia take than anything.
Louisville has a clear problem when they're playing teams with physicality, in my opinion, which congrats. That takes that means you're going to have problems against 7 teams.
All right, here's my question. How real are they? We're going to go through some of the 10-win teams.
Okay.
Cal is 12-1. How real?
They're okay. I don't think they're going to make the tournament. Their schedule's been really easy, but Ames has been good. Pippen has had somewhat of a breakout season.
I think he has a really good chance to make the tournament, Jonathan.
I would disagree. I don't know if 20-12 is going to get you in, which is around what I think.
What happens if they go win 22 games? They win 11. They win 10.
They'll have a shot, but
if they win 10 games, they go 10-8 in the ACC, win an ACC tournament game. That probably means they get a win over a Miami or a Clemson.
If you're on the bubble and you don't have a super, super great win, you just have some good wins, you should not be getting in it.
They do not have a road win. That is another big one. They do not have a road win.
Yeah. And it's going to be tough for them to win on the road in conference play. You got to go far.
Now, Stanford is 11-2, but the 2 losses are bad losses. Seattle and UNLV.
They're not getting in.
They're not getting in, but I think they're good. Ish. They're bad. They're bad enough to screw around and lose to bad teams, but they're also good enough to screw around and hang around against good teams.
Yeah, I think that's I'd be worried if I had to make the Cal that West Coast trip this year.
Yeah, especially considering look, the teams that beat them are Seattle and UNLV. The teams that they beat Minnesota and St. Louis in Palm Springs. Those 2 teams, they're playing Eastern time zone teams. You play Notre Dame and Louisville. You play Notre Dame. I think they're going to beat Notre Dame on Tuesday.
Certainly. I think they'll have a shot at Louisville too.
Yeah. Miami's 11-2. Are they making the NCAA tournament?
Another team that's scheduled really poorly in non-con, but they have real athleticism and size.
They're hurt.
They're just really thin.
Their depth is bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this team falls off.
And they don't play Duke, so they don't have a shot at that huge win. They don't play Louisville until the very end of the season when they're probably going to be gassed out.
I think they'll win games, but I think they miss.
I think they make it. I don't think they do anything in it.
Okay.
Anyone else you want to talk about in the ACC?
Notre Dame season's over with Burton out.
Oh, totally.
SMU, like, I mean, like, everything about this SMU season so far is like on par with like the typical Enfield season.
Virginia Tech, 11-2. Don't turn it over at all. Fun guards with
I could see them making it
with Avdalas and Bedford. Hansbury's been incredible. This team is not good enough.
Their metrics just aren't good.
Yeah.
And they've also won 3 overtime games. So, like, you could argue that, like, maybe variance starts swinging against them.
All right, Jonathan, how many ACC teams make the NCAA tournament?
Man, we just talked talked down to a lot of teams. I'm going to say 6.
7.
Who's your 7th?
Duke, Louisville, North Carolina.
I know who your first 6 are.
NC State, Clemson.
Oh, Miami?
One of Miami, SMU, Cal. Maybe 2.
So we're ruling out Wake.
Wake's not making it.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I'll take Miami out and say 6.
I think we could get Miami, Cal. I would like. I think it's possible they get 8. Like, I don't think it's out of the question to get 8 bids.
It's in play.
All right, Jonathan, you want to take us home?
Yeah. If you came
tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, we are 9 hours away from the next episode of Brackets, Bubbles, and Bit Steelers mid-major roundup. Be there or be square.
If you came to hear about Tyler Self and where he's working, you came to the right place. If you came to hear about the encouragement of throwing water bottles, you came to the right place. By the way,
I would like to make sure that this is clear. I unequivocally condemn that action. It's entertaining.
And if you came to hear about the latest happenings of Caleb Grill, you came to the right place. Oh boy, could Mizzou use him back? This has been
season. He's fixing all their problems, but everyone could use a Caleb Grill.
Season 6, episode 63 of Brackets, Bubbles, and Mid Steelers. We'll see you tomorrow morning.